You come to California for the dream, the Golden Gate Bridge, sun-drenched beaches, ancient redwoods. The promise of endless summer, adventure and opportunity draws millions here every year. It's a place where the light seems to linger a little longer, where the air is filled with possibility, and where the landscape itself feels like a postcard come to life. This is the California of postcards, the one that's sold to the world, a land of beauty, wealth, and boundless optimism. But step onto the streets and you see another reality. Just beyond the glossy images, a different California emerges. Gleaming tech headquarters stand beside rows of tents, the symbols of innovation and prosperity shadowed by hardship. Luxury boutiques are just blocks from sprawling encampments, where the contrast between affluence and poverty is impossible to ignore. Families try to create homes out of tarps and discarded wood, piecing together shelter and dignity in the shadows of skyscrapers. This isn't hidden, it's a daily, public struggle for survival, unfolding in plain sight on city sidewalks and in public parks. People battle not just the elements, but a system that's left them behind. Shopping carts become lifelines, carrying everything they own from place to place, makeshift shelters a testament to ingenuity. Every tarp, every scrap of wood, is a small act of resilience and hope. But this isn't an adventure, it's a grinding fight for existence in one of the world's richest places. The struggle is relentless, and the stakes are survival. As a traveler, it's easy to look away, to focus on the beauty and excitement. But to understand California, you have to see both sides. The dream and the reality. The beauty and wealth are real, and they are dazzling. Mansions line the hills, luxury cars cruise palm-lined streets. But so is the hardship. For every mansion, there's a tent. For every luxury, a struggle. The sun shines on mansions, and on tents pitched on the pavement below. The same sunlight, two very different worlds. This is California's raw, unfiltered reality, a place of extremes where hope and hardship live side by side. Two worlds side by side, separated by a gap that feels impossible to cross. The divide is stark and it's growing. The dream and the struggle are neighbors here, sharing the same streets, breathing the same air. To know California, you must see them both. Only then can you understand the true story of the Golden State. This is the story behind the postcard, the one that rarely makes it onto the souvenir rack. Welcome to the Golden State's two faces, where dreams and reality collide every single day. The scale of California's crisis is staggering. It's a reality that stretches from the heart of its biggest cities to the quiet corners of its suburbs, touching lives in ways many never see. Over 187,000 people are homeless, more than the population of many cities. Each night, tens of thousands search for a safe place to sleep, unsure of what tomorrow will bring. California holds nearly a quarter of the nation's homeless. No other state comes close to these numbers, making this not just a local issue but a national emergency. 2 out of 3 have no shelter at all, living on streets, in parks, in cars. For many, the only roof they know is the sky above. Nearly half of America's unsheltered homeless are here in California's cities and towns, forced to make homes wherever they can. While other states get people indoors, California's streets are the last resort for thousands. The gap between empty homes and those without one grows wider every year. Beyond homelessness, poverty runs deep. Food banks and shelters are lifelines for families struggling to get by. Nearly 19% of Californians, over 7 million, live in poverty. That's almost 1 in 5 people, including children, seniors, and working families. Another 31% are just one crisis away from falling in. A lost job, a medical bill, or a rent hike can push them over the edge. These aren't just numbers, they're mothers, seniors, young people with nowhere to turn. Each face tells a story of struggle and resilience. The crisis isn't about individual failings, but a system failing millions. It's a challenge that demands collective action and compassion. Every day the fight for survival plays out in the shadow of immense wealth. The contrast is impossible to ignore, luxury and hardship side by side. The numbers reveal the magnitude, but the reality is lived by people. Behind every statistic is a human being hoping for a better future. This is not a fringe issue, it's California's daily truth. It's woven into the fabric of everyday life, visible to all who care to look. The dream is slipping out of reach for too many. For countless Californians, hope is replaced by uncertainty. The crisis is impossible to ignore. It's time to see it, to face it, and to demand change. Why is survival so hard here? The answer is simple. The cost of living has soared, but incomes haven't kept up. Housing is the biggest barrier. Rents have jumped 23% since 2001, while renter incomes rose just 5%. The gap grows every year until people run out of options. Even families earning $100,000 can struggle to afford a home. Over a quarter of Californians worry daily about paying rent or mortgage. Safety nets are weak. One job loss, one emergency, and there's nowhere to turn. Many who end up homeless were living doubled up, just one crisis away from the street. The slide into homelessness is slow, painful, and all too common. In California, survival is a race against rising costs and shrinking support. The crisis is most visible in California's cities: Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego. Over 70% of the state's homeless are concentrated in just 10 urban areas. Shelters are overflowing, and tent cities have become permanent. But it's not just a city problem anymore. Homelessness is spreading to suburbs and rural counties. Places once seen as affordable refuges. Some counties have seen unsheltered homelessness jump by over 50% in a year. Economic pressures are radiating outward. There's nowhere left to run. The survival challenge is now statewide, from coastal towns to desert communities. The front line is everywhere. The problem is growing harder to contain. The struggle reflects California itself, but some groups are hit harder. Systemic inequalities mean communities of color bear the heaviest burden. Over half of those in or near poverty are Latino. Black and Native American residents face the highest housing cost burdens. The fastest-growing homeless group, older adults, seniors on fixed incomes pushed out by rising rents. Homeless seniors could triple by 2030. Families with children are also at risk, with a 33% increase in just 1 year. Women and gender-expansive individuals face rising homelessness, often fleeing violence or discrimination. Each group has a unique story, but all share the same fight to be seen, to be safe, to survive. The crisis is not equal, but it is everywhere. These are the faces of the forgotten. Their struggle is California's story. California is fighting back, investing billions in shelters, rental assistance, and outreach. In 2024, the state tried to get more organized, proposing a new housing and homelessness agency. Voters passed Proposition 1 to build more treatment facilities and housing for those with mental health and addiction issues. These are big steps, but are they enough? A 2023 audit found the state lacks data to measure what's working. Billions are spent, but accountability is missing. Now, looming federal cuts threaten to make things worse. Over 9 million people nationwide could lose rental assistance. For California, losing federal support would be devastating. The fight is urgent, but the ground is shifting. The outcome is far from certain. As a traveler, you can't escape this reality. It's part of California's landscape. The contrast is everywhere. Waterfalls and museums by day, tent communities by night. It's jarring, but it's real. Seeing poverty and homelessness can raise questions about safety, but remember, those living on the street are more often victims than threats. Empathy is your most important gear. Look beyond curiosity. See the human beings behind the hardship. The family in that car could be yours, just one crisis away. Understanding the root causes, impossible rents, low wages, weak safety nets, shifts your view from judgment to compassion. Witnessing this crisis can be transformative. It teaches you more about California than any monument. It reveals resilience but also deep cracks in society. Your trip can be an education and a call to awareness. The real California is more than a postcard. As a visitor, you have a choice. See only the beauty, or travel with open eyes and heart. Responsible tourism means acknowledging the full reality, good and bad. When you see a tent city, see a community of survivors. The line between having a home and not is thinner than you think. Nearly half of California's homeless were living doubled up just before. You can help. Support businesses that hire or assist people transitioning out of homelessness. Donate to local food banks or shelters instead of giving cash on the street. Your support, however small, matters. Most importantly, take the story home. Talk about what you saw, the people you met, the reality you witnessed. Share both the numbers and the humanity. Raising awareness fights stigma and indifference. You become an ambassador for California's beauty and its challenges. In California, survival is about more than shelter. It's a test of our collective will to let others live with dignity. Every day, Thousands wake up facing uncertainty, not knowing where their next meal will come from or where they'll sleep at night. This is not just a crisis of housing, but a crisis of empathy. We have the resources, the wealth, the knowledge. Our state is home to innovation, opportunity, and abundance. Yet the gap between those who have and those who have not continues to widen. Do we have the heart, the courage to look beyond statistics and see the people behind the numbers? No one chooses to be homeless. Circumstances, job loss, illness, rising rents can push anyone to the edge. People are pushed there by forces beyond their control. It could happen to any of us at any time. To see homelessness as personal failure is to miss the story. Replace judgment with compassion. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, can make a difference. Their struggle is our struggle. When we lift others, we lift ourselves and our communities. Hope lives in outreach workers, volunteers, new policies, and the resilience of those on the street. It lives in every effort to offer a hand, a meal, or a listening ear. But hope needs action, resources, and commitment. It needs us to show up, to advocate, and to care. Whether you're a traveler or a resident, don't turn away. Look, see, understand. Every story matters. The people on California's streets are our neighbors, veterans, parents, and children. They are part of our shared community. Their fight for survival reflects our own humanity. How we respond defines who we are as a society. Let's meet this crisis with unwavering compassion. Let's be the reason someone finds hope. In the richest state, in the richest nation, a safe home should not be a dream. It should be a promise we keep to one another. It is a fundamental human right. Shelter is the foundation for opportunity, health, and hope. The choice and the future are ours. Together, we can build a California where everyone belongs.